Hey guys, welcome to Big Go Travelers. Today this video is about how to buy a used car in New York or in general in USA. So we think that this video will be very useful for the people who are moving to USA for the first time or the people in general in USA. And in this video we are going to cover what is the estimated price of used car in USA, what things you need to remember or you need to know before you buy a used car, and what is the complete process starting from the websites you are looking for to buy the car, and all the process like the registration and everything. And basically congratulations to us, we recently bought not a new car, for us it's new, old car.
And this journey has been very adventurous for us, and this is true especially in New York because to keep a car in New York is very expensive, and part of the reason is it's so hugely populated. There is no parking space at all, and for the same reason the insurance is very expensive because it's more risky because there are so many cars. So for that reason people don't usually buy a car in New York, and they usually rely on public transport.
And public transport is very good, and here people do very rough driving compared to rest of the USA, so that's why insurance is also very high. And if you want to buy a parking space or rent a parking space, I think the cost of that is
almost same as your room.
Exactly.
Actually, room rent.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Okay, let's say I want to buy a car. Where do I start from?
So let's say you decide to buy a car. So you could go to either to a personal seller or to a dealer. So the dealer not only sells new car, they also sell used cars. That means they actually buy all the used cars from the market, and then they fix it, and then they will make it look like a new car. The pros of buying a car from a dealer would be you don't have to worry about the health of a car, because if you buy it from a reputed dealer, they will worry about their reputation and probably will not sell you a junk. So it will be a good car most likely, but that will also cost more. So typically you would pay almost $2,000 to $4,000 extra depending on the car you are buying if you buy it
from the market rate.
Yeah.
So if the market rate is, let's say, 10,000, if you buy the car from the dealer, you will pay 12,000 to 14,000.
But what we did is we did the research ourselves and hence saved a little bit of money, and we actually went to different personal seller. We saw different cars and bought the one we liked.
পার্সোনাল সেলার বলতে ধরুন আমি আমার গাড়িটা বিক্রি করে দিতে চাই, তো আমি জাস্ট ফেসবুকে বা বিভিন্ন এরকম ধরনের ওয়েবসাইটে আমি অ্যাড দেবো যে আমি গাড়িটা বিক্রি করতে চাই, আমি একটা এস্টিমেট দেবো যে আমি এত টাকা চাই, তুমি কিনবে কিনা এসো। নাও it's the buyer's responsibility to make sure কি গাড়ির সব পার্টস ঠিক আছে কিনা, what are the cost they want to spend to repair the car before they start using it.
Exactly. So what we did is we went to Facebook and Craigslist. There are other websites like Car Gurus and other dedicated websites only for cars, but locally we saw Facebook and Craigslist, they work just fine. We looked at different cars and we basically contacted them, and we scheduled a time for test drive. And if we liked the car, then we also took the car to a local mechanic, because we don't know much about car.
So this is the second step. So first step is you decide what kind of car you want to buy, basically the company and the car type. Once you've decided that, next task is to choose the features, that these are the minimum features we need or I need. For example, if it has like power
windows,
it has a screen or Bluetooth, or what are the features you need.
Exactly.
Decide that, and then make sure the car you are that in this website, it has all those features. Call up the
Person.
seller and make sure that it has all those features, and then you go to see the car. Now the second step Bishwadit was mentioning was taking the car to a mechanic, because from outside apni ba ami bujhte parbo na if the car is good or not. So the mechanic on your behalf will check the health of all the components externally, obviously, মানে কিছু যন্ত্রপাতি দিয়ে আর কিছুটা নিজেদের ওদের জাজ যে অয়েলগুলো ঠিক আছে কিনা, যেমন ব্রেক লিকুইড, রাইট?
ব্রেক অয়েল, ইঞ্জিন অয়েল,
ইঞ্জিনের হেলথ কেমন আছে, মানে মোটামুটি দেখে একটা ওরা দেখে বলবে যে ইট ইজ আ গুড কার অর ইট ইজ আ ব্যাড কার অর it needs some repair and what could be the cost of the repair. Let's say battery change korte hobe, or let's say there are some problem, something is broken, AC is not working, or AC otota thanda korche na. So there are 1 2 3 4 এই কটা জিনিস চেঞ্জ করতে হবে, and for that you need, let's say, $1,000. তো আপনি এই এস্টিমেটটা from the mechanic, you will get that estimate.
Yeah, then that will help you to decide, to bargain basically how much you want to pay, because you will already have to pay $1,000 to fix the car if you buy it.
So this is the third step. So let's say you saw the car, it was, let's say, $9,000, and then you go and see that these things are needs to be repaired, and সেটা estimate $1,000 আপনি extra spend করবেন, so this is 9,000 plus 1,000, so the final cost of the car is 10,000. Now you decide if you want to buy the car in $10,000 or not. Else you bargain. Let's say you tell the seller যে $9,000 টাকায় হবে, $9,000 হবে না, because আমাকে আরো $1,000 spend করতে হবে, so give me 8,000 or something.
Okay, just to add one small thing about the car check is when you get the car to the mechanic will check the big things, but all the accessories of the car you need to check yourself. For example, all the power windows are working or not, the cruise control is working or not.
So the next part is how to estimate the price of the car. So there is a website named Kelly Blue Book, where you can give the details of the car, like the make, the model, and
The year.
The year, the mileage of the car, and it will give you a proper or estimated price of the car at today's date. And depending on if you're buying it from a dealer or from a personal seller, that will change. So from that you should have an estimate or idea, like what should be the price of the car. After you agree on the price and you decided that you want to buy this car, the next thing you need is car insurance, so that you can drive the car after you buy it.
Exactly. And you should actually do this homework even before you go to buy the car. You should call up different insurance companies and get the quote. And trust me, there is no logic to it. There is only one way to find the best insurance, is to call at least 5-6 different companies. And I don't know how they judge, but different companies will give you completely different rates. For example, for me, when I got the quote from Geico and Progressive and several others, all of them said, even for a basic insurance, $500 per month, which is very expensive. It's a basic minimum insurance. And it was only State Farm which gave me reasonable. I'm not.
But again, there is one more information. It's not always true.
Exactly.
Bishwadit had another car before in Santa Barbara, and you had Geico's insurance.
I had Progressive.
Oh, Progressive.
So in that case, Progressive was cheaper.
Exactly.
So there is no logic to it. You should have the quote with you even before you want to buy the car.
Yeah.
And then when you are ready to buy the car, you should just call up the insurance company and ask them to activate the insurance. So that shouldn't take long time.
At that time you just pay credit card details, because you already have the quote, you agreed on the insurance price as well. And at that time it just takes 5 minutes maximum, and they send you some documents which you need to buy the car.
Because they cannot sell the vehicle if you don't have the insurance. This is true for dealer. Of course, personal seller can sell you car even without insurance, but you cannot drive the car in that case.
Okay, so I have my insurance now. What documents I need to have from the seller to complete the buying process? And remember, these documents you need to submit while you are doing the registration of the car.
Exactly. So in New York, you need 3 documents to complete this buying process. One is you need the title from the previous owner, and the owner needs to sign on it. You need the bill of sale, and you also need, which is special to only New York, is called the statement of gift. It's basically the document which says how much of tax are you gonna pay on the car. So if it's a complete gift, for example, your relative can gift you a car, in that case, it's considered taxless. You don't have to pay any tax. But when you are buying from a dealer or a personal seller, then you have to pay taxes. In case of dealer, the dealer, they actually typically get the tax right when you buy the car from you. But if you are getting from a personal seller, then you just get this document, and then later on you submit this document to the local DMV where you are registering your car, and they calculate your tax. So
and you pay there.
You pay there, yeah. And in New York is 8.875% in Manhattan, considering all the taxes.
And remember, if you are buying the car from other state and registering it New York, you need to figure it out that where you need to pay the tax. Usually it is in New York if you are registering the car in New York.
Apart from the insurance, you also need a temporary number plate of the car, which is we still have on the car. And this we got from the dealer actually. So turns out the personal seller that we bought the car from had a dealer friend, and he could give us a temporary plate. So how this thing works is you cannot actually legally drive the vehicle without a number plate. If you had an old car and you sold it off, then you would retain the number plate of that car, and in that case you could use that plate in the new car. However, if you are buying a car from fresh, you wouldn't have a number plate. In that case, you would either have to request the old seller to drive you all the way to the DMV, and you get the number plate right away, or you have to get this temporary number plate somehow, and then you have 30 days to get the actual number plate.
So it usually costs $150 to $200.
Okay, now if you have got your temporary registration and temporary number plate, then you're good for 30 days to drive the car. But within 30 days, you have to register your car in your local DMV. And in this local DMV, you basically get all the documents that you got from the seller. Also, you gotta give them your proof of identity. In that case, the DMV has a list basically what all documents are accepted. You need your driver license, for example.
I will put the detailed link on the screen so that they know.
Yeah, one important info though. For example, I used to live in California before, so I have a California license. It turns out I don't necessarily need to have a New York license in order to buy a car and register in New York. This wasn't clear from their website. Only when I went to the local DMV, they made it clear. Because in New York, it costs actually more than $100 to get the New York license. So there is no point because my California license is still valid. But if you don't have the New York license, then you have to compensate by providing other documents. For example, your visa, passport, your social security number, or it might be utility bills. And we'll give you all the details in the description. So once you submit these documents to the DMV, they will give you the actual registration of the car. They will also mail you in your permanent address the title of the car, and they will also give the actual number plate of the car. In our case, they gave us instantly, but I guess in some case they can also take time and mail you in your address.
Yeah, so in that case, you had a 1 month number plate when you purchased the car. So you should plan ahead, like don't go on the last day to do all these things.
Yes, and from the day of registration, you have a 10-day period to do the inspection of the car. So you need a inspection, basically a sticker on your windshield which says that the car is safe to drive and it has passed the inspection check.
And you have to go to a DMV approved mechanic. Not all mechanic can give you this sticker.
It took us multiple attempts to buy the car actually. We tried 4 different places, and we'll tell you stories about the first 3 different places where it didn't work out.
Basically, when we started looking for the car this time, we went to a place in a different state, spending $200 in Uber, and once we reached, we saw that the AC is not working, the rear view mirror was broken, and there, like, in the title there's no proper name, like who owns.
Yeah, that
the
guy
car.
didn't even register the car. He just bought it from an auction and didn't bother to register for a year.
For years.
So it was shady.
Yeah, and it was so weird. We were very scared.
What we learned is we should have asked for a video before we went in person to check. That is what we learned. So in the second time, the car was actually good, but we didn't know that it was a value package model. That means it lacks a lot of amenities. The basic amenities. It didn't have cruise control. It didn't have power, door lock, and etc. In the third experience, the car actually looked good from outside, but then when we started, the car had huge vibration. They actually changed something in the car. So anyway, it didn't work out for us.
And we spent $100 in the mechanic, but it was a very, very bad car.
Exactly. So here is my 2 cents. What I learned from these experiences is that if you don't like the car from outside, if the guy didn't maintain the car exterior, didn't maintain the interior, don't bother going forward, because trust me, then the guy probably didn't do the maintenance
At
all. Exactly. Even when the car looked good from outside and the guy actually bothered to clean it up before he wants to sell, then only go forward, and then there is at least a finite probability that the car can be good.
And the second one is, when you are looking for a car in Facebook or Craigslist, if in the description they wrote that very minimum description, then
exactly, like
it's
very good, engine, transmission 100%, just one line, then it's likely that they either don't know about car much, or the car actually is not in great shape. So if a responsible person is selling his car, he will actually document all the problems and all the good things.
Starting from dents, scratches, if
Exactly.
something is broken, something is not working, they will try to give you all the information, and then only it's like you get the confidence to go. Otherwise it's time waste of money. So consider these points before you go to buy a car.
And after you have done everything, you're good to go. Enjoy.
So if you guys like our video, I hope this was very helpful. Please comment down below that if you have any question related to buying a used car in US, we will try to respond whatever we learned or from our experience. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe.